Hi, and welcome to what I hope to be the first of a couple of video blogs introducing MyForms 9. My name is Christy Pirro. I'm the Director of Software Development for MyCo, and I just wanted to take a little bit of time to show what we're working on. I'm recording this on a Windows 8 Slate device from Samsung, and I'm going to go ahead and bring up MyForms here. Now, what I want to show in this video is a few things that we've done to take advantage of some of the new UI principles that Microsoft is pushing in Windows 8. One of those principles is maximizing screen real estate. So for those of you who are familiar with MyForms already, you might notice that a few things are missing from MyForms 8. For instance, there's no toolbar in the top right. There's actually no menu bar here. The goal here is because with Slate devices sometimes can have small screens like 7 or 10-inch displays, we wanted to maximize the amount of real estate you have available for actually filling a form. But as you'll see, the client is fairly similar to what you're already used to. I'm going to go ahead and bring up a fire inspection report. And you'll see that it gets loaded directly here into the device just as you would expect. This is a landscape device, in fact with a widescreen, so I'm having it all fit to width at the moment. Obviously you could reformat it as you might want. Now, I wanted to draw attention to a couple of items here on the new interface as well. First, you'll see that without a toolbar up at the top, the question comes up, how can we actually interact with this form if we need to do some other things? Well, I'm taking my stylus right now and I'm going to hover over the bottom area of the screen, and you'll notice that menu actually expands out from the bottom. Here we have your most commonly used items. Over on the right side, we have your close, your finish, your save buttons, as well as a validation rule pop-up. I'll actually get into that a little bit later. And then over on the left side, if I hover over menus, we've got your file menu, your view menu, tools, help, and so on. What we strive to do was to eliminate the number of options on those menus, rather than have 2 or 3 different ways where something might be able to be done. Now there's really just one consistent way to do everything. It was again a goal to make the UI a little bit less complicated. You see I have a big page turn toolbar down here. This form has got 3 pages, one of which is hidden, so if I drop that, you'll see that I can go to page 3 right from that, or go back to page 1. If I take my mouse or my stylus, in this case, outside of that area, the menu collapses, giving me full screen real estate again. Interacting with the form is pretty similar to what you'd expect. I can still write in the margins with my stylus like that. I've still got things like hotspots, so if I click my hotspot here, I can bring up a date calendar. I can go ahead and pick an item in a pick list, pick a street name, a representative officer, and so on, as you'd expect here. Now, one thing you might have noticed already is up near the top of the form and at the bottom of the form, there's little red lines. This is a quick validation indicator. In this case, the form has critical validation rules, so you get a little red border like that. If I were to fill out the only validation rule on this form, which is to pick a date, you'll see that that changes to green. This is a really quick way to just determine the current status of the form's validation rules. If we wanted more details, though, we could hover down our menu down there, click our validation rule, and we'll get our pop-up validations as you would expect. So I'm interacting with this form in this way, but then the question of course comes up, how do I go ahead and open up another form? You might have noticed on the file menu there's actually no open there anymore. And that's because we have a similar sort of drop down from the top. If I hover over the top, you'll see that I've got my list of forms available. This previously was done in a bit of an always there toolbar across the top that took up a bunch of room. But now we see the one form I have open, we have a little screenshot of it, the descriptor is there, it's got a green border because there's no validation errors. But I also have this plus icon over here on the right, so when I tap that, I can go ahead and open another form. So I'm going to go open up the adverse experiences form. That one opens as you'd expect. Now when I hover over the top here, you'll see I actually have 2 items in the list. And in fact, the one that's the currently active form is highlighted. The one that is open but not active, the fire form over there, is a little bit transparent. If I hover over it, you'll see I actually get a descriptor pop up. If the descriptor was too long down the bottom, it would be abbreviated, but the tooltip will always be there. You can just tap on that one to go there. couple of other things that I wanted to draw attention to were a new method of page changing. You'll notice there's no forward and next page buttons on a sort of menu that I've shown so far. But if I take my stylus and I hover over the right side of the form, I'll get this sort of gray bar, and I can click that, and that'll take me to the next page. And similar over on the left side, I can do that, and it'll take me back to the previous page. If I want to change what my stylus or mouse does, I can right-click and I get a context menu that comes up here. Right now we're obviously in inking mode. I can go into mouse mode such that if I were down on one of these over here, I could just kind of highlight it. If I right-click again, pick my pen, I can then go back into ink mode. This one's got a couple of rules about certain things not being able to check at a certain time. If I want to change my color, I could go ahead and pick one of these other pen colors from the drop-down list that's there. If I wanted to erase something, I could pick my eraser, and now we're doing a stroke erase, as is pretty common with inking applications these days. I'll go back into my pen mode right now, and I'm good there. This device that I'm currently using is also a touch-capable device, so this enables me to do a few other things that haven't been possible in MyForms in the past. For instance, if I make the kind of typical, well, first I'm going to go into gesture mode with my finger there. The context menu for touch is touch and hold, but then if I make the kind of typical zoom motion that's pretty popular these days on tablet devices, I can zoom right into a MyForms form. I can scroll around with my finger and so on as need be. Zoom back out again. If I want to change pages, I can make a quick gesture to the left or a quick gesture to the right to go ahead and do that. So these are just a few of the things that are new and different in MyForms version 9 for the Windows platform, coming out soon. In a couple of other videos after this, I will be going into a little bit more depth on some specific form control changes. But if you're interested in trying out beta of MyForms 9, please just go ahead and email support, and we'll be happy to help you set up with one of those. Thanks, I hope you've enjoyed this, and stay tuned for a few more.